So this is Vlogmas. Hello and welcome back to Vlogmas. In this series, we have been focusing on inspiration and reflection for the season. And today I want to return to joy in the morning, Blue Christmas. This holiday season, and in the United States, that starts with, for many of us, Thanksgiving through Advent and Christmas into the new year. A lot of activity, a lot of traditions, a lot of get-togethers and gatherings, parties and concerts, worship services, and most of them have the expectation that everyone's coming in happy. Really, everybody is enjoying the season. But the truth is that this season can be very difficult when you are experiencing loss, when you are acutely missing people who aren't around that dining room table, where the traditions you've had in the past can no longer be done in the same way because the participants have changed. I'm a pastor, for those of you who are not familiar with me or the channel, and I had about a week and a half ago, or a week or so ago, we had a funeral service, a celebration of life here at the church, and I encouraged the family, the small family remaining, I encouraged family members to honor the traditions you've had, but recognize, and so many people have lost coming up right on the heels of this holiday season. Literally, the loss happened right before Thanksgiving, and the service was the week after, and then barely take a breath, and Christmas is going to be right here. And so how do you deal with that? How do you navigate that? And how do you be true to how you're feeling and what you're experiencing? Still continue to live your life, but recognize you're in whatever stage of grief you are in, that's yours, and no one can speed it up. No one can tell you that you should be over it. You should just get over it. You should just move forward. And whether it's as fresh as the member of my church who just lost a loved one, or if it's even a few years ago. My parents have both been gone. My father's been gone for 20 years, and my mother for 15. And I still miss them. I think I will always miss them. Now, though, on the other side of sort of that raw period of grief, I am comforted in a sense by the fact that I still miss them. That I haven't forgotten. One of the things I feared, at least, was I would forget the sound of their voice. That I would forget the stories that they told. That they would not they still cross my mind every day. I still think about them it might be fleeting, but every day, even if it's just looking at my face in the mirror and seeing my mother's face. Even if it's doing some things that I do that I know that I get that interest from my father. Because it truly, it sounds like a cliche, but they do live on through me and in me in the ways in which they formed me. And I think that's true of every relationship we have, whether it's a friend who we loved and who was very important to us, a spouse, certainly children, all important, other extended relatives. Every relationship that is meaningful leaves an impression and leaves a legacy. And so one of the things we've talked about is in this season, if you need to say no to some gatherings and some obligations that in the past you've been part of, you need to give yourself permission to do that and not let anyone make you feel guilt or feel bad about not participating in that same way, if that's what you need to do for your own health and well-being. But I also want to challenge you that you don't have to give up all the traditions, that maybe there are some traditions that you have and you've engaged in the past that you can maintain, just maintain in a different way so that you can honor them. So perhaps maybe you trim the tree with your family member who's no longer there. Well, maybe this year and every other year you get a new special ornament that reminds you or reflects that person, and you put that on a prominent place in the tree. Maybe those are the last that you put, and so that they can stand out, or they're the first that you put on so that then everything else reflects around them. Or maybe it's not on the tree but something on the mantelpiece, or just something that is related to what you did with them that maintains that the connection and honors the connection, but is new, so that you've replaced something that you loved with something that you can grow to love because it honors the person that you loved. So maybe that wasn't tree trimming, maybe you went to see the Nutcracker every year. Well, maybe there's maybe you go to see the Nutcracker, but you invite someone that you know who also has experienced a loss. So it's an opportunity for them to spend time with someone who will understand, and you still get to enjoy the performance. No, it's not going to be the same, and it might be bittersweet, but it is a way of honoring. So that if you want to do, so last week I talked about if you don't want to do those things, but let's say you do want to still enjoy the holiday in a similar way, if not the same. Then what you do in order to make that happen, you modify the past traditions. So you look at, what did we used to do that I enjoy? Say, well, how can I still do those things now? And not to pretend the person isn't here, but to acknowledge the presence of them in your life to the point that you had them, by remembering, reflecting, and still engaging in those things that brought you joy and will bring you comfort and connection and can still bring some happiness to your life in this season. So this is just another suggestion of how to deal with the blues, bereavement, and grief during this season. If you are feeling much stronger feelings, if you are feeling real feelings of depression, beyond grief, beyond what you would consider to be normal grief, if it feels out of control for you, or if you feel that you really need to have a more direct dialogue with someone, again, I will have resources in the comment in the section below, in the description box below, where you can reach out and speak to someone directly. It's not easy. It's not an easy time. And I won't say I know how you feel, because how you feel is how you feel. It is different for each person. But I do have experience with almost dreading the holidays because they're so different, and just really wanting them to be over, and having experience of changing that and transforming that feeling of dread into a new normal that can still be enjoyed and celebrated. And so my prayer for you is that even as you may be experiencing a blue Christmas, that you will experience some joy in the morning, and that the light of Christ will shine in you, warm your spirit, and flow through you during this Advent season. And until the next time, be blessed.